Joining me right now on Kumite Radio is newly signed UFC Flyweight Kai Kara France. He'll be competing at UFC Adelaide on December 2nd versus Ashkan Mokhtarian. What's going on, Kai?
What's up, bro? Not much. Just resting before the next session. Deep in that fight camp now.
For sure, man. I remember in early 2016, I wrote an article listing the top prospects fighting on this side of the world, and you were on that list. So it feels good to kind of see you finally get your opportunity in the octagon, man.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a long time in the making. I've been fighting since 2015, so a long time now. Oh no, sorry, I've been fighting since 2010, my professional fight. So I've had a few fights now, just under 29 professional MMA fights. I feel like I've done a lot in my career, and I'm only 25. So yeah, to finally get the call and make my debut, it's gonna be something special.
Yeah, you're only 25, but do you feel like a veteran?
Yeah, I guess so. I've done a lot of things, fought in a lot of places, 13 different countries now I've fought in. Been on The Ultimate Fighter, fought in front of Dana White. Got a knockout in front of him, fought and risen in front of 20,000 people in Japan. So yeah, this is just another thing on the bucket list to make my debut. And I'm just ready to make it count.
Yeah, you mentioned The Ultimate Fighter 2016 later that year. You had cameras following you everywhere. You're living with people you don't know. Most fighters afterwards, they hated that experience. Was it tough for you?
Yeah, it was a tough experience. Making weight every week is hard, especially when you don't walk around flyweight. And just being surrounded by cameras and living in Vegas for 7 weeks without any contact with the outside world. It is hard. It's the hardest conditions I've ever had to fight under. But I feel like living in Thailand kind of prepared me for that. I was fighting quite frequently. Every month I'd fight, if not Muay Thai, if not boxing, MMA. So I was ready, more than ready to fight frequently every week. But it's different when the cameras are all there and there's a lot of pressure on you to perform at your best, and you don't have your teammates or the usual routine you usually do. So yeah, it was hard, but I was happy I got at least one good knockout on the show, and I could showcase what I can do.
Henry Cejudo was your coach that season.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that he would be the one to dethrone Mighty Mouse?
Nah, not at all. The first fight they had was close, but yeah, I wasn't expecting it. I'm happy for him as well. I did think it would have gone either way, but I thought they would have given it to the champ. But for them to give it to Henry, it's definitely opened up the division and made it exciting again. Everyone thinks they've got a chance now, which is it's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Were you close with Cejudo on the show?
Yeah, we're pretty close. He's told me to come out and train with him in Arizona a few times now. But I was in limbo of what I was going to do. I was kind of playing that weight game, wanting to get a UFC contract. So I didn't want to make any moves without properly, cementing what I was my future plans. So, he's always hit me up saying come out and train. At CSA at where's that? San Francisco with Coach K. That's where he's done a few of his camps. And I've got a teammate training there at the moment, Jenna Fabian. She's from our gym at City Kickboxing. So I could have gone over, but for now, we've got a good thing going at City Kickboxing. So I don't think I'll be doing camps differently anytime soon.
There's no doubt about that. You guys have something, phenomenal going on at City Kickboxing. When the show was over and you weren't signed, many people were shocked, man. Like, everybody expected you to be, get a contract. Was there a chip on your shoulder?
Yeah, definitely. That's what motivated me to keep striving and keep trying to make something happen. After that fight in Japan, when I lost by decision, that was a setback in my career. So I went back home to New Zealand after that, and then had a sit down with Eugene, my head coach now, Eugene Berman. Just said what I wanted to do in my career and how we were going to go about it. So he just told me just get back to training, we'll get back to the UFC. Just give it time. So I trusted in him, and look where we are now, 5-fight win streak, and about to make my UFC debut.
Yeah, after the season, you took most of your fights at bantamweight. Was it just difficult to get fights at flyweight?
Yeah, there was a few factors in that. We didn't want to just take any fight. We wanted to make sure that it was the right move. So yeah, I was comfortable fighting at bantamweight, so that's why I just didn't cut weight and I just fought. So I was still fighting tough guys. People don't think in China the talent's good out there, but these guys fight every week. The shows that I was fighting on, there's probably about 30 professional fights that hold in the day. So the show would start at like 2 p.m. and it wouldn't finish till midnight. So there's 30 fights all from around the world. So these guys do this every week. So they're gonna get good just from experience. So eventually they wanted me to fight for the title over there, but the UFC call up came, so that's why we took it. But yeah, people that think China's they're not good or they're not like a good challenge, they're wrong. You got to do it over there. It's hard fighting in China when the judges are against you. You got to finish fights, otherwise it probably won't go your way.
Yeah, it seems like the Chinese have the Muay Thai approach to MMA, where they're fighting so often, and a lot of people don't know the real records of a lot of the Chinese fighters because it's not logged into Tapology or SureDog.
Yeah, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. So I guess if you want to pad your record, you could do it over there, but you probably will run into a killer sooner or later that's had maybe like 30 professional fights. So yeah, they're dangerous.
Your power, man, it's apparent in both weight classes, bantamweight, flyweight. But what do you see in yourself at flyweight that makes you a better fighter?
Um, just my size advantage will be one of the different things. At bantamweight, I have to wait until they start to get a bit more tired before I can really put it on and look for the finish. But at flyweight, from the first exchange to the end of the third, I'm dangerous all the way through. So I feel like I'm not as fast as all the flyweights, but I make up for it in speed. Which at bantamweight, I was always a faster fighter. I just needed to make sure that I'd got out of that first round, and that's when I could really pick up my game plan. So I feel like, yeah, going into the flyweight and in the UFC division, that's what sets me apart, that knockout power. But in saying that, I train everything. I'm not just a one-trick pony. I'd be naive if all I went into the fight was just boxing. So we train as much wrestling as we do kickboxing at City Kickboxing. So yeah, we'll be more than prepared.
It seems like you're taking strength and conditioning seriously. Is that what is behind your powerful striking?
Yeah, I guess so. It's just a bit of everything. I'm never really. I'm one of those guys that have to tell to stop training. I'll overtrain sometimes, because I'm always constantly in the gym. So with me, yeah, just pulling back when I need to, taking the rest when I need to, and not just training or train harder, not just train smarter, not harder. In Thailand, I was guilty of it. I would always overtrain, do like 6 hours a day kind of thing, which now, looking back, it was stupid. You're not really going to get much out of it. You want to make sure you're doing all the right things and getting quality, not quantity. So I feel like that in a combination where I'm training at now, City Kickboxing, one of the highest level kickboxing gyms out there. Our system speaks for itself. The results speak for themselves. So having my coach Eugene and Doug Viney as well, they've created an atmosphere you can thrive in. We've got a lot of guys training all year round, which makes yourself better because iron sharpens iron. So eventually you're going to have to get better, or otherwise you're just going to get smashed every day. So yeah, that's kind of how we do it at City Kickboxing.
Now let's move on to your upcoming fight, your debut, December 2nd in Adelaide. You're taking on Ashkan Mokhtarian. I heard you guys have a little history. Is that true?
Yeah, I guess we've got a little bit of a history, but towards him personally, there's no animosity towards on my side. It's just the way things have worked out. Things are said. and now we're fighting. So come December 2nd, I'm just gonna stick to what I've always been doing and let my fight do the talking. But yeah, there was a bit of a controversy about me calling him out, and a few names are said calling me his brother, calling me an unloyal dog, and a few other things. But you know, he's accusing me of fighting teammates from Tiger Muay Thai. You know, there's a lot of people that train at Tiger. You can't say everyone's your teammate. He did mention Ben Nguyen, the other UFC flyweight, and that was training with me at Tiger. We did train together, but the thing with me and him, we were scheduled to fight twice. Of course, I'm going to accept the fight. You know, the UFC is bigger than my teammates' dreams. That's where I want to be. So I accepted it, but he's declined my fights twice now. We talked as well. He said, "You'll get your chance, just not now." So to have him kind of take that away from me, it sucked. But I knew eventually I'd get in. It just had to be patient and wait for the right time. But yeah, with Ashkan, we did train at Tiger at the same time, but we weren't training together. He doesn't really do classes. He just does his own thing. So yeah, we never really sparred together or did drilling or anything like that. So we're never really teammates. He's not. I don't think he's doing his camp at Tiger either. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, yeah, I'm just focused on him. Not really taking emotion into this. I'm just keeping my head down and just training and letting my coach watch all the footage and starting to break it down. Yeah.
When you look at Mokhtarian and assess his last two performances, what do you see?
People say like I'm gonna walk through Ashkan. I don't think that. I think he's gonna be dangerous this fight. You know, he's only got a few more fights left on his UFC contract, so I'm not taking it lightly at all. I'm gonna expect the best Ashkan, and he should expect the best Kai as well. So I'm training everything. I'm not just gonna rely on one thing. What I've taken away from his last two fights, you know, he did well against Ryan Bernat and against Moraga. You know, he didn't get outclassed, but he did get beaten. But yeah, he's still dangerous. He can win fights because he can tag you, and then he can kind of just be defensive, and then somehow the round will end, and then he'll end up winning the whole fight. So for this fight, yeah, I just got to be patient. I'm not gonna let him steal the round, and I'm not gonna run in and just look for that knockout. I just got to let it happen naturally and not rush anything.
In your run, you know, you've been fighting mostly at bantamweight. How is your weight coming off in this camp?
Yeah, so for this fight camp, I'm working with Ian Larios. So he works for George Lockhart. So I've managed to get my weight down quite early. That's what I wanted to do. So I've been doing his diet for about a month and a half now. Yeah, my weight's where it should be. You know, he's happy where it is. So we're in a good place. My energy's still there, and the weight's still coming down. So you can't ask for much more. But yeah, he's worked with a lot of UFC fighters. He's working with DC right now, Daniel Cormier. He was working with Conor McGregor for his weight cut. You know, Cody Garbrandt. So he's working with a lot of guys. So I feel like I'm in good hands. And yeah, the main thing is that was one of my main, not issues, but one thing I just wanted to make sure that was on point was my weight. But it's where it should be now, and that won't be an issue coming in.
It must be some relief in your mind that you don't have to fly far to fight. You don't have to go all the way across, you know, the ocean to compete in your debut. Do you feel some sense of relief with that?
Yeah, definitely. You know, my whole career I've always had to travel to fight. My last fight in New Zealand was March, and that was the first fight I've had in 5 years in New Zealand. So, you know, Adelaide's only 4 hours away. I've already got a lot of friends and family booked to come over. So it's going to feel like a hometown fight for me, just because I've had so much support there, and yeah, I'm gonna love not traveling too far to make my debut.
Once you get this win, like you most likely are confident in, where do you put yourself in the flyweight division?
Well, yeah, I'm not going to look past Ashkan like I'm going to knock him out straight away, but yeah, I do plan on winning, and I do plan on finishing him. Um, but that yeah, in the flyweight division, there's not many flyweights, so it doesn't take much to climb the rankings. You know, one or two finishes, you're already in title contention. So I'm not rushing it. I'm taking it one fight at a time. I'll get past Ashkan, and then yeah, I want to fight next year. Hopefully, the UFC come back to New Zealand. I'd love to fight in my hometown, just so you know the momentum that New Zealand or the Anzacs have right now. Um, I can see it happening. I can see Izzy or Dan headlining the card and bringing all that momentum back to Auckland, and that's always been the dream for me to fight New Zealand. So yeah, I'd love to fight whoever they give me. I feel comfortable with anyone in that division. Um, even Henry Cejudo, he was my coach, but he's the champ right now, so that's who I want to fight eventually.
Yeah, the Anzac wave is strong, and you're just part of that wave, man. And it's wonderful to see. Yeah, man. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, appreciate it, bro. Thank you.